Alright, Shedletsky John Roblox himself, the guy who either carries half your team or misses the easiest layup any Sentinel has ever seen 10 times a game. He is the quintessential Sentinel, your bread and butter pick. He's got 2 moves, that's it, you know. He's got his fried chicken, he's got his slash. 1 stun, 1 heals. His slash does 30 damage and slows you 75%. The real importance is he has a 3-second stun on it. Land it and the killer's just stuck there. Miss it and you're tanking a gashing wound for half your health. They click the 1 button. Or even more, 1x. Then you have fried chicken. Heals 5 HP. Over 35 seconds, over 10 seconds, it heals 35 more. It's simple, but if you take damage while using it, the healing won't finish. Timing matters, only use it when disengaged. You'll be fine. That's Shidlesky in a nutshell. 2 moves, higher potential than you probably think, to be honest. You just hear, okay, I'm gonna click Q around corners. You see, that's your low skill floor. The skill ceiling, now that's what we want to talk about like that. That's your low skill floor. But the skill ceiling, despite its stun simple nature, mastering timing is one thing. Mastering when you can do it exactly every time is another thing. How does Shedletsky stack up against the other Sentinels? Now, you can think of him as the middle guard. He's not the flashiest, he's not the most technical, he's not dropping a U-turn drop dash stab like 2-time, he's not putting you in his guest parry compilation level 400 guest video. But you always know what you're getting when someone puts on Shedletsky, typically, if they don't suck, okay? A decent stun, they can sustain themselves, that's stuff off the elite. A skill curve that will reward practice and rewards your mind. That's the main thing you need to remember. Anyways, just to come down to comparing, we have 2-time. The less and less you play, like, you'll think 2-time, oh, he just has to be straight up better. Like, lol, bits. 2-time has a better stun than Shidlesky. Backstabs are near instant and they have a shorter cooldown. While this is true, the better the killer gets the game, the more you're done for as 2-time. Listen, 2-time's always going to be a good option, but there's so many moves you can punish as Shidletsky, I'll show later, that 2-time has nothing to do against. If the killer is attentive, a lot of your opportunities shut down. The 20 health heal on your stun is also useful, but needing to be engaged to heal, that's basically a death sentence if the killer's competent, okay? Listen, as Shidletsky, you can run away and you get 40 health back. You'll be fine. Now, it is also worth mentioning that 2-time is second life, and that's one thing he beats him out on. But 2-time needs to land hits once again. Which against a competent killer is going to be really hard, and which is why Shidletsky beats him out. Then we have Chance. Chance has range, he has safety. But the punish is he has setup time, and in chase he can't protect himself well with his stun, and he can only get 1 stun. Chance needs to disengage. Everyone wants to be able to disengage a chase, but Shidletsky has the overall. He can keep going. He does not need to get out of time, flip a coin, get weakness 10 million just to use it. And let's not forget, 1 stun has a 5% chance not to even work if you have max charges. Shidletsky, you don't need that charges. You'll be just fine. Start the game. Also remember that Chance will have always set up time. No matter what you do, unless you get a 99 health start, you're gonna have to flip a coin like 6 times at least, okay? In that time, if the killer's competent, a lot can happen. Listen, Chance is always good as a backup sentinel. Your main sentinel's off on cooldown. Chance comes in, he does it But when you're picking your only Sentinel, at least even, you want Shedletsky over Chance. Then we've Guest. Guest, we all know Guest. He's the true potential man of Forsaken. Very killer reliant. 2 times also killer reliant. That's why they both fall short of Shidlesky. On paper, they're better. In effect, not ever. Some moves will give Guest a free block. This is true. Guest's big thing is, if he can't block, he's just useless. Charge is not doing anything compared to having a stun. Now, if you get a free block as Guest, you're basically on a worse Shidlesky point at that. You have a weaker stun. The hitboxes are worse, okay? And if you hit a parry, sure, that's cool, it can help. But again, the more competent the killers get, it's not going to help. And that 115 health, without reliance on an Elliot, Guest sounds like he has a bigger health pool, but in effect, Shidlesky has 140, which that's a lot better, and you don't need an Elliot to regen it. 180 full game health with no Elliot reliance, no builder map. Anyways, that's what sets him apart from the others. He isn't fancy, he's not super broken, he's not getting you your sick clips for your amazing compilation, but he's reliable, he's the baseline of what every Sentinel should be, and your team with him is not going to be better off without, if it's a good one. Okay? Again, every other Sentinel has a counter. Shedletsky has no counter. Besides, if you use a stomp pad, it's not going to work. Like, 2 time, okay, you can say the same thing. But that also requires them to not pay attention to you. Sometimes the killer just has to accept a stun from the Shedletsky if they want to use their moves. Anyways, let's move on. Ah yes, the killers versus Shidletsky. Something you could argue was, a bit more important than the last part, but this is why he's the best and how to play him, so you have to get through everything. Anyways, let's start off with Slasher. Slasher's gameplay loop is probably the simplest out of the killers. He runs at you, he raging paces if when he runs out of stamina. Raging pace is the only thing that keeps Slasher in our chase, that doesn't make him the worst killer in the game anymore. Now, there's something very important to know about Slasher. Now I'll show it later anyways, but at the end of Raging Pace, when they M1, you get a free slash. Now they can avoid this if they M1 to the side, but if you get a Slasher to M1 to the side to avoid your slash, that's free distance for you or your teammate that's being chased. Now it's less ideal, but you can also slash a behead dash if you click the button before it lands, of course, which can be very useful. And as I showed earlier in the video, actually, in the background footage, you can slash after a gashing wound if it's your teammate getting gashing wounded, and the slasher can do nothing to avoid it. Because now Raging Pace has this thing where it only gives you vulnerability a small bit after you activate it, so you can guarantee a slash there. Okay, cool kid. Probably the least free matchup besides 1x, funnily enough. The best way to use your slash here is on walk speeds. If he walk speeds into a wall, maybe not. Actually no, maybe then. If he walk speeds into a teammate, you can time it after his invulnerability until you get a free slash and he can't do anything. You can also do it if he misses a walk speed, but only a slash a missed walk speed unless if it's your teammate getting chased. If it's you, you're better off just running. And if you're getting chased and he bonks a wall, slash if you can. If you can't, because that has the shortest end lag, just run. Moving on to John Doe. A very simple killer for Shidlesky to counter. You have 2 setups mainly. First of all, Uncorrupt Energy. Of course unstoppable if you slash during it. He has speed, That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. What you're going to want to do is, after the move, there's a small window where you can slash him and he can't use 404 for a free stun. Or, alternatively, you can bait the 404 and then slash. Because you see, the thing is, he can't M1 during the 404 animation. I show that also to you later. But basically, it's just a free stun and both his moves are gone. And anyways, Noli. People love to say Guest is the best Noli counter. But I would argue that Shedletsky might be just as good, probably better. Guest has to play mind games on Void Rush and blocks. Sure Guest is scarier to them, but most effectively, you can just say no to everything he does if you're Shidlesky. Start up a Void Rush, slash. Mid Void Rush, unless you badly time it, free slash. The end lag of Void Rush, if he slams someone, if you time it right, free slash. You can run into Nova and only take 9 damage, free slash. Observant, gone. Noli mains that understand this hate when they say shit. They'll talk about Guest because they don't want anyone to realize there's a reason Shedletsky is considered so good against Noli by people who are better at the game. Better than me, of course, because I'm awful for my playtime. But ignore that. Anyways, moving on to last one. 1x, ironically, the least exciting matchup you'll have. You got 2 plays. Slash around corner, maybe punish and stabilize, maybe mass infection. Mass infection only works really if he's following a teammate, to be honest. The real trick here is always going to come down to psychology. 1x probably is the worst killer to get slashed outside of Slasher. Funny how that word sounds. So if you can play the mind games against 1x, you get just free time anyways. Especially because 1x relies on projectiles to hit you. So if you can make him scared to get in your face during the chase, you're basically set for a long chase. And again, if he's chasing a teammate, wait for him to run out of stamina, mass infection. That's free slash. That gives your teammate a bunch of time. Basically, chase reset. Anyways, from here, I'm going to move on to how moves are timed, okay? So there's not much I can provide for commentary here. This is just going to mostly have to play for itself. That cool kid one's a bit off. This one looks a bit weird because I accidentally made it a kill, so I had to differently time it. I was spamming M1. If you see an M1 start, it's so I can show that it is guaranteed. That's all. Alright, we've gone through everything. You've seen how he holds up against everyone. You've seen how he holds up against the killers. And now this is where we discuss everything we've learned. Well, not everything, but you know. This is where we finally set into stone. No more just corner camping, okay? This works, but we can do more. Just to go over the principles again. Don't swing because you can is one thing I just need to say first. Just because you can stun doesn't always mean it's the ideal time to stun. Okay, just to talk about stun timing, try to stun when the killer is going to be up on stamina, not when they're low. You regen stamina when you're stunned Which also means if you stun a low stamina killer, you're basically doing nothing. They're just not waddling while regenning, okay? Next is, remember to use your fried chicken. Only if you're under 40 health. Don't wait any longer, there's no point. Use your move, okay? I see so many Shedletskys, instead of using a fried chicken, they're at 40 health, they go up to Elliot and ask for pizza. Let your teammates get that, okay? Unless everyone else is full, just eat your chicken. Now, as much as I've advised against corners, remember, map geometry, it's good. Loops, door frames in Horror Hotel, anywhere you can. If you think you can get a stun on a killer when needed, just do it. There's so much you can do with Shidletsky, but you don't always need to overcomplicate it, okay? Doing your move when you need to is the point. Everything I showed you before just helps you do that more effectively, like an actual competent player. And remember, support is your first. Your support to the rest of your team. As everyone is, you should be supporting each other, maybe besides Sentinels. You're not a hero, okay? A good slash can reset a chase. Save a teammate, flip it on the other side. That is your main goal. You don't want to be the guy who saves a slash, because what happens if you get chased? If you help your teammates, they'll probably help you back. It's a team game, okay? That's what you need to focus on. Mind games. Remember, I talked about just with 1x, but mind games is something Shidletsky can take advantage of. Not as much as 2-time, I'll have to admit, but it can still help. Going backwards slightly can terrify killer, especially if you've stunned them before. The more paranoid they are, the more they'll waste time being scared of you, okay? You need to get into their head when you can. Because especially if they are not on perfect ping, a good killer is going to be very stressed about getting stunned, because that's a lot of time lost. Forsaken is very survivor-sided, so if you can waste a minute time, your team does their job to an alright degree, you should probably got it, okay? Now, all of that, and I'm probably forgetting some more things, but it's okay. That's why he's the best Sentinel. He's not broken. No one's broken in the Sentinel class anyways. 2-time can be unfair to laggy killers. A guest can be unfair to laggy killers. But no one's broken. Chance is just chance. See, listen, he does his job. Listen, Shidlesky's not flashy. He's consistent. More consistent than any other Sentinel can be by far. Every mistake from a killer will be an opening. Every opening is a stun. If it's a good time to stun, that stun becomes one of your win conditions, okay? He's not the strongest on paper, again. He has the second longest stun cooldown, but he's the most reliable by far. You're gonna do your best when you have a Shidletsky on your team over the others, okay? So, just remember, next time you're deciding what Sentinel you want to play, maybe stop going for that guest pick, okay? Give your team a Shidletsky. That's all I can say. W man he is. George Lull wants replacement right here, come on. Here we go, folks. Number 1 victory royale, yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down 10 kills on the board right now, just wiped out Tomato Town, yeah, my 10 drop down, now we're heading southbound, going to Patchen Park Street, go to the Mark Street, take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today, we can go to Meister Meyer, but not Lou Lake, I really love to chug with you, we can be pro Fortnite gamers, pro Fortnite gamers. That shit was ridiculous. What the fuck was that? Contractee, did you see what he just did and defiled my goddamn name?